Yeah, this is just probably more of a personal question for me. I'm just such a fan of Johnny Depp. Kind of what's he like offset, or maybe even kind of before you guys get into the scene, kind of preparing for the scene? What's it like being with him?
He's fine. He's a great actor. He's really controlled, concentrated, on top of it, playful, generous. I mean, it was that was it. Same thing with Al.
Yeah.
You know, Al was like that. And I would swap stories with Al because he's a god of mine. And Johnny Depp, I didn't know. I mean, I knew of him, and Edward Scissorhand and all that stuff. But as far as him doing that character, it was really wonderful. He had it, it was at ease. He wasn't forced. He sat in it, which is the best thing. You could see that he was in control, and I learned from him. I learned about concentration and stillness. It was really, and same thing with Al. But yeah, he's a great guy. No complaints at all. In fact, I'd love to work with him again someday. If he remembers me.
No, I'm sure he does. But one thing that I remembered with Johnny Depp's performance is that his Italian accent and just overall demeanor kind of grew as the movie went on. I don't know if that was intentional, or because the character obviously is becoming more of a wise guy, but I don't know if it was intentional or just brilliant acting.
I think the reticence you saw was a character development from trying to ingratiate himself into Al's character, and then how his status grew, and so the bravura and the weight that he had grew, I think, as the status grew.
Yeah.
And it was willful. I don't think it was an accident that the script called for that he was a little more assertive and especially when he's almost in a situation of having to do something really illegal, like participate in a murder, that he was able to really call upon that. It's brilliant stuff. Brilliant acting.
Yeah, no, that scene with his wife at the very end when he's trying to get the bag and he's like, I can't breathe. You know what I mean? Like, it was so good. And I put it up there as one of the top not even just mob films, like one of the top films of all times. And all your performances were great.
Well, Al, I don't know, Al wasn't nominated, which I thought was really stupid, because there's that scene at the end. I don't know if not an Al scene, where he takes out all of his
ring,
his money and ring and the money and he knows, pure. It was just so simple and pure. And then when you're the scene, when he starts it, you don't know what he's doing, and then you think, oh, he knows. He knows this is happening.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant work.
Unbelievable. And I know
I was going to say that one of the things that at NYU we were allowed to go see plays and rehearsal at the Public Theater, and I saw Al and John Cazale do a play together called The Local Stigmatic. I don't think there was ever a public performance of it. They worked on it for years, and seeing those two actors on stage work together, and then a couple of years later, I saw John Cazale in Central Park play. You talk about actors that have affected me. He played Angelo in Measure for Measure, opposite an unknown actress from Yale named Meryl Streep, I think her name is, and Sam Waterston was in it, and he shocked me. I mean, John Cazale shocked me. That character, what he did, it's a part of a, he's sort of a preacher, supposedly a very pure, law-abiding member of the court, who, when power is given to him, turns into the most avaricious being, lustful, and he makes a pass at a nun, saying either you have to give it up or your brother dies. But when he's having this conversation with her, with Meryl, and she's in full habit, you only saw her face and her hands, everything else is a nun, and and up until then was just like an angel. And John Cazale came up from behind her and grabbed her around her breast and between her legs, and he was saying these lines in Shakespeare, in the scene. No improvisation, all I am content, It was one of the most shocking, explicit, titillating, obscene, brilliant scenes I'd ever seen in my life, because of the audacity of what he was doing, and then you realize that's exactly what Shakespeare wanted. And I vowed years later, if I ever did that part, I would do exactly the same thing. And years later, I got to do that part, and I did exactly the same thing. And they said, "Do you know what to do at this moment?" I said, "Exactly. I'm going to do exactly this moment." Did like that with Sam Waterston's daughter, actually, Liz Waterston. So it was nice. It was fun. Big circle closed.
It's amazing how it comes to a circle like that. And another actor that we lost way too soon. Man, who knows the performances that we would have gotten, from the 80s and 90s until now. Unbelievable actor, John. And I don't think they knew quite what they were working with in the first Godfather movie until he started getting his scenes, and that's where he got a bigger part because of how well he did in Godfather 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, there was just those it's brilliant. I mean, there's nothing, and he worked hard at it. He was also another circle being turned is that Olympia and he were classmates.
Wow.
At Boston University and worked together, and their teacher was Peter Cass, who was also a teacher of. If you saw that thing with that documentary with Val, Peter is the acting teacher that Al is working with, and he was, so there's very small family, of people that know. You walk onto a set and it's like, do you know? Oh, I know. And did you work with him? Yeah, I worked with her. And this is great. And it's a very small type family. And, it's great. It's funny when those things happen. When you're on a set, Star Trek set, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I played that part. You did that? Oh, I did that. What'd you do? Oh, how'd you do that? It's the camaraderie of it.